Hello everybody, I toast to you and all you do. I hope you're having a fantastic day. So we have the full new. See, every time I make one of these videos, I always have them backwards. It's just silly. We have dark moon coming up. And if you're ever wondering why I always put dark moon and the new moon in parentheses in the titles, or how I call them differently. So the new moon is the first moment of light that you can see. It often falls in the same sign as the dark moon. However, there is a moment when there is no moon and the sky is totally dark, and this is that dark moon. This is the moment. In my last video, I had a helicopter try to land in my backyard. Now I have a train going by. This one's polite. He's not wailing on the horn. Just give it a second. Yep, you know, one of those things. So, we have the dark moon's energy, which is this, I think the best equivalent you can think of is like the goddess's womb. It is a dark place of manifestation. It is a warm hug from your grandmother. It is that place that you just really feel nurtured and new beginnings. And then we come into the new moon, which is that first light, which is like a shift from when the goddess is this crone aspect, and we begin to transform into that maiden aspect. And by the time we're 7 days later, I guess, so the quarter moon, we come into that maiden energy of the moon, which lasts all the way to the day before the full moon, when we have the maiden full moon, because to the naked eye, it looks full. It's not quite there yet. In our modern times, we have the ability to measure these things to the scientificness, exactness. Our ancestors wouldn't have seen it that way, and so there's a little bit more give and take on that flow. The energy that we're connecting with and manifesting at this time is that dark energy. So it's that moment when we cannot see the moon. It's that night when there is no moon. And scientifically, yes, it only lasts for like a few moments in time, because the earth is constantly moving. Spiritually, it is the night in which you see no moon. So, back to the dark moon. This dark moon is coming up on March 2nd. All around the world, it happens on the same day. Some places it's early in the morning, some places it's later on in the afternoon. But again, that's just the scientific moment. I guess we're going to start with the numerology, because it's an interesting numerology. We got a lot of weird numerology. Not weird. We got a lot of intense numerology going on this year, because it's 22. 22 is the number of physical manifestations. So you're going to see a lot of physical manifesting this year. Things that you have thought about or worked towards can manifest this year. We're going to see that happen all over the place. We're just going to see a lot of manifestations, a lot of change, because it is that 22. And things are coming into the manifestation. Now, this dark moon happens on 3/2/22, 2022. So you got to have that extra 2 in there, because you got to do the whole year. This comes out to 11, which is the spiritual mastery number. And so we have these two divine, spiritual, and physical, of the physical realm, mastery numbers happening together. And so that really heightens this energy, and all of this divine connection between up and down and inside and outside and all of that, our higher consciousness, all of this is really being heightened. And so you're going to feel that connection. You're going to feel these connections. You're going to feel your spirituality wanting to manifest itself, which is great with this moon, because this Pisces moon is about bringing in those internal things and manifesting them out into reality. Creation, ending old things, beginning new things, planting in order to manifest. So those energies are all coming together. We also have 7 quintiles happening during this full moon time, or dark moon time, and a quintile brings in this creative aspect, and it kind of positively influences all of these things. Now, these quintiles are happening so grandly because we have 2 major conjunctions happening. We have a conjunction between Neptune, Jupiter, the Sun, and the Moon. They're all in Pisces. And within the next, the week of the dark moon, they're all going to be exact conjunct. I feel like they're close enough right now that we're feeling all of them in conjunct. And so this is like a spiritual upgrade. Um, it's like, shining the light down on your spirituality and calling it out to manifest it. We have expanding, it's removing the veil. Neptune brings in this watery energy, and they're all happening in Pisces, which is already this like divine connection and divination and bringing dream magic and all of those kind of things. And so we're expanding this. And so this is going to be a great time just under this conjunction to do a lot of reflection on like, what do you want for your spirituality? What do you want your spiritual practice to look like? What are you trying to manifest? Kind of open up to those feelings and see what it is that you're feeling. We also at the same time have this trine conjunction happening with with Venus, Mars, and Pluto. And Venus and Mars, as we talked about before, have been conjunct for a while. They're going to continue to be conjunct. They're moving through. They're about to move through to Aquarius. But before they do that, right now, they are with Pluto in Capricorn. And so this is bringing out this very determined yet loving, kind of like take action, use your wits, and kind of bring this in again. However, it being in Capricorn is more of a hard aspect. It's going to remind us that change cannot be undone. We've been going through a lot of change. So this is like a fierce reminder. You can't undo that change. The things that happened in the past, and you cannot change them. The only thing that you can control is your reaction to a situation. And so you might be feeling really out of control right now because there's been so much change. And so this is a reminder to give you energy to kind of push forward with your own goals and your own spirituality and manifest that. It can have to do with your finances and your natural resources and kind of getting through and putting that into work. It's also with Mercury in Capricorn Mars. I keep getting those confused. Mars in Capricorn is really bringing out this yang, primal masculine energy that can really help to put an oomph into whatever you're doing. Really get through that. Now let's talk about Mercury, because Mercury right now is Mercury right now is conjunct with the moon. All of the planets are all kind of lined up in Aquarius and Pisces and this side of the chart, and they in Capricorn, and so they are all and they're all direct. So we have a bunch of this motivated energy working together to move forward. So Mercury and Saturn right now are conjunct in Aquarius. And this might feel a little bit like a suppressive energy because it's too much almost. And so you want to make it quiet. And that's kind of what this energy is doing. But it's really reminding us that we need to take that moment of calmness. We need to not pay so much attention with Saturn and what's going on in the world and that karmatic thing happening globally, and kind of focus in on the internal dialogue that we're having. And then we have Uranus, which is sextile to the sun and moon. And this is bringing in that higher consciousness. And so I kind of fed into this because we are being told to stop listening to the herd and really connect with our divine connection and let that flow and listen to our internal our internal authority, and find that truth and that new future and these things that we want to manifest, and really kind of focus on that. And so there's a lot of idealism floating around, and you have to tap into that. And what is your ideal self? What is your ideal spiritual self? This will be a great time to meditate on those things. Light a candle, sit down in front of a candle, and start doing some free writing about what it is that you want to manifest in your spirituality, in your real world, in your day-to-day life, on a global scale. What is it that you want to affect, and what do you want to manifest into reality? Let's see. We have a semi-square between the sun and the moon to that triple conjunction. And so, again, this is a hard angle, and it normally brings out things that we don't necessarily want to see. And it can, again, feel almost oppressive, but it does turn back to internalizing this strong energy. And instead of using that energy to hyper-focus on what the crowd is saying, listen to what your internal dialogue is saying and what you're feeling and thinking, and, shift that paradigm in your brain to what is everybody telling me to think, to what is it that I feel, and what is it that I want to manifest, and what do I want to think, and what is it that I believe, and really, create a strong sense of self and this internal power, and create conviction, and, lead with love. So the astrologer that I watched, she said, be a spiritual warrior and lead with love. And this is that time to find that internal conviction to be able to do that. And it really rang true with my dojo where I take Kempo. And the Kiyoshi there, he said, it is better to be a warrior in a garden, cultivating flowers, and be able to protect and know, than it is to go out and seek destruction and devastation. And so it just kind of rings true with this whole energy of, know what your principles are, know what you stand for, feel this from within, and stand true to that, and be the person it is that you need to be, even in moments when it's hard. I was recently faced with a really hard challenge, and I could go against my principles and go against my own, beliefs and moral code and do this thing in order to participate in an activity that I love participating in. But when I really sat down and think about it, it made me so sad to feel like that's something that I needed to even question, or kind of like, wow. And so I respectfully, was like, I can't participate in this. It's not a place where I feel it's going to be a positive work environment. And it's sad. But as I meditate on it and I reflect on it and I really think about it, it is one of those places where I know who I am, I know what my beliefs are, and I have to honor that, and I have to stand true to that, and I can't be, manipulated or bullied or convinced through peer pressure to do something that I wouldn't normally do. I mean, we tell our children, we tell the youth all the time, don't let peer pressure make you do something. And yet, as adults, we do not live up to that standard. And you see again and again through fear and manipulation and not necessarily control, but like just in trying to convince everybody to make the same choices, you see this happening again and again with different choices. And you should believe like this, or you should be like that. And I guess the question is, where do you want to be? What kind of person do you want to be? And then stand by that and know that this is who I am, and I support you in your choices, because everybody has to make the best choice for themselves and do what it is that they feel is the best thing for themselves, and be able to have enough confidence and faith in yourself in order to present that, and be okay that other people are going to present something different. And that's okay. That's what makes this world beautiful and diverse and a fun place to be. If we were all making the exact same choices, doing the exact same thing, this place would be boring, because you would just wake up and see the same thing that you see when you would just see yourself everywhere. And that's not the world that we want to live in. And that's, a beautiful thing to embrace. And also one of those things that really goes against the grain, because we're taught like, oh, you need to fit in, you need to be like this. We go to school and they make you feel like you need to fit in. You have people all around you who are like, you're different and that's bad. No, you're different and that's beautiful. And it doesn't matter what choices that you make or how you choose to present yourself, as long as you're presenting yourself as who you are and who you want to be into your true self, then that's a beautiful thing. Yeah. I hope that everybody finds that empowerment under this moon, is to be true to yourself. And if you go out the door and somebody doesn't accept you for who you are, then just know that, one, the gods accept you for who you are, and that you accept you for who you are. I accept you for who you are. I mean, if that helps, I do. Everybody's got to be who they feel is right for them. And so this energy is really influencing that. And so give yourself a hug and honor yourself, and really use this energy to manifest that internal power. So we also have the Sun and Jupiter conjunct, and they'll be officially conjunct on the 5th. But like I said earlier, they're close enough now that everything is kind of mushing together. So we have the Sun and Jupiter, and this is an expansive energy. So it's going to take this manifesting, like, oh, this is what I'm thinking. It's like a bubbling cauldron, and you add your ingredients under the dark moon. And by the time the 5th rolls around and this conjunction happens, it's expanding, and it's bubbling out and creating this beautiful thing out in the world. And so we're really going to feel that manifesting energy. We also, on the 6th, have Venus and Mars together, hand in hand, trotting through into Aquarius, which is going to really heighten this feeling of teamwork, collaboration, joining in with like-minded people, finding your tribe, doing your thing, and really honoring that. And then on the 13th, we have the Sun coming conjunct with Neptune, and this is going to really, again, heighten this manifesting big energy. We're talking about the planets after the asteroid belt. These are all big planets. Their energy is big and abundant. And so we're really going to feel that. It's going to manifest your creativity. Dream magic will be really strong. So again, we have all of these heightened energies happening in Pisces, which are really opening up that intuitive, psychic energy for you to connect with. And then we have an interesting thing with a dwarf planet. So the astrology lady that I follow, her name is Pam Gregory. You can look her up. She's amazing. But she's one of the people. She talks a lot about the dwarf planets, and she gets a lot of flack for that. She says she gets a lot of comments that are like, well, they're dwarf planets, and how can you understand this energy or this new energy that we're putting into the astrological charts? And her response to this is that we as a species, as a being, a conscious being, will be made aware of the energies as we are able in order to process them. So our ancestors didn't know about these dwarf planets in the same sense that we did, or maybe they saw them as stars, or maybe they weren't there yet. Who knows? I don't know the whole science on all of the dwarf planets, but because they weren't ready to manifest this energy and to take this energy in and to be able to add this to their chart. We have grown to a place now where we do have all of this science and technology and things available to make it much easier to learn these sciences, and therefore you can master them much earlier and then expand your practice and kind of expand your knowledge on it. And so the dwarf planets have been brought in because as a collective conscious, we are now ready to understand that information. I think that a lot of the dwarf planets have a role in which we have not always seen. I mean, you look at Eris and the influence that she's had, the planet and the energy that it comes with, which is the, divine goddess of chaos. And chaos in a sense of bringing justice for the people and standing true to, core values ahead of, greed and lust and all of these other things that drive people. And so this energy has really played a part in the last couple of years. You also see all of the protests. You see all of this happening, a lot of civil unrest. If you're not aware of it, then I would watch some foreign news. If you're not prepared to, I was crying the other day watching. I was like, I'll have to watch something else. Went to Nanny 911. Watch something more productive. But there are devastating things happening all over the world. People all over the world are really feeling this civil unrest, this distrust for their government, this distrust for the society. And I think that plays a lot into what we've been talking about over. So we have Eris stirring up this emotion as she comes into our charts, and we really are focusing on that. And simultaneously, we have all of these, like, you need to focus on yourself, and you need to be the integrity, have that integrity to be the person that does the right thing, that's true to your core values and honors that. And so it's like this great energy. So back to other dwarf planets. There's another dwarf planet, and it is called Teheron. Oh, see, I practiced saying it for a long time. Teherona Haiwaku. And so it's pretty far out there, but this is the Iroquois agricultural god, and he is of the people, and he really has this noble grandeur about him. Now, right now, he is found directly in the middle of the Jupiter-Neptune. Let me make sure it's Neptune. He is right between Jupiter and Neptune in that conjunction. And so in this expanding, like, bold awakening, finding your truth and freedom and leading with, like, this loving, expanding energy, you have this dwarf planet that's, like, right in the middle. It's like waving his flag of, like, hey, just do the right thing, have that integrity, and you will manifest something. You will manifest something for your future and really grow that energy. And so it's bringing in this great, this mega conjunction happening is really reminding you that we have this expanding energy that you have to tap into and that you can use in order to really honor yourself and stand up and be like, okay, this is who I am. These are the things that I believe in. These are my values, and I'm going to do the right thing at the end of the day, and I'm going to be true to myself. And this can be in so many different aspects of your life. It can have to do with, I don't even want to go into examples because all of the things that I can think of are super controversial, and I'm not trying to make a controversial video to tell you to choose a side or be a person or do whatever, because that's not the point. The point is to be you, no matter who that is. And you can find people who will accept you. You can find your tribe. This is a time to go out and seek that and look for that. Join my tribe. We accept everybody. It's funny because when we do events, we always have such an eclectic gathering of people who end up conjugating at our tent. And we have one, I'm always set up to, like, if it's cold outside, we had our whole tent last one, like, surrounded with sheets to keep the wind out so that when you stepped into our tent, it was warmer. And vice versa, when it's really hot outside, we always have the shade, we have water, we offer you things, for people who are super cold. I was like, I got a bunch of blankets and you can sit here on my papasan where I'm doing readings and you can warm up for a minute, and get warm. And so, but we always offer that space. And so because we offer that space and we don't, like, deter people, we always have this beautiful eclectic nature of people who end up hanging out, from, like, the random walker-bys who are super conservative in their nature and don't look like they would be at a pagan festival. They're like, this is awesome. Let me see what you have. And they come in, and then, we'll have a bunch of people who are, like, really goth. And then we'll have people of all walks of life in between those two places. To the grand extreme. I just don't feel like I should judge you. We're open to, like, the LGBTQ and all of the different letters and whatever you stand for and whoever you want to be. And when people ask me, they're like, well, you always get people who want to, like, challenge you on that. And I say, you know what? If you in the morning get up and get dressed and walk out the door, I don't care what you're dressed like, you have the courage to walk out the door and be true to yourself, then I'm going to honor that. And I'm going to accept you for what you chose to come outside and confront the world with, because that is a hard thing to do. And I don't even feel like I have some wild nature. I mean, you see me in my videos, I'm halfway in my house coat most of the time. I got my sweatshirt on today. I had to get dressed this morning like a real person. But I even have jeans on. They're like normal jeans. But you got to be who you are, and I accept everybody to be who they are. And I know that for myself, sometimes it's hard to just go outside and be who I am, and I don't even feel like I'm that far outside the cuff of what is considered normal. And so if I woke up every morning and I wanted to be dressed like something, I like it, just, you know what, more power to you, and I accept you and I honor you for that, and I give you like this strength because you have the courage to do that. And it's not my place. Like, you be you. And people can't argue with that, because it's not about what I believe or what they believe or what somebody feels or blah, blah. No. If you want to get up and dress, I watched this video and these people are like, I'm going to marry the color pink. And they just wear pink and they have pink hair and everything is pink and they're constantly in pink. And they are just pink to the max. If that's what you want to do every day, then more power to you. I love pink too. I don't, everybody's got their thing, and that's amazing. And so this energy that right now is really manifesting astrologically and through the earth and everywhere that we're feeling is really honoring you, to honor that energy and be true to who you are and manifest that. And right now, through your dreams, through journaling, through art, through creativity, through meditation, with that Pisces energy, we have all of this flowing energy. Really tap into that and honor yourself and see, okay, who is it that I want to manifest this year? What is it that I want to manifest this year? How do I want to make my life? And do it. The first step is just visualization and seeing that and allowing those things to flow. So, before I go off again on my willingness to honor all people for who they are, I toast to you, all of you, and everything that you do. And I really, truly hope that you feel that motivating energy to help you be true to yourself and honor yourself and love yourself under this Pisces moon, because you have an endless source of love from within, and you have to start by loving yourself. And then all great things will manifest from that. So, many blessings to all of you, and all you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. See, I took a drink of my coffee to give you a minute to hit that subscribe button and the like button. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.